If you buy THC gummies, drinks, or vapes from a smoke shop, a liquor store, or online, you need to stop what you're doing and watch this video right now, because the party might just be over for the entire hemp industry. On November 12, 2025, a provision was quietly tucked into a must-pass spending bill, the kind of bill that has to get signed that will make the vast majority of these products federally illegal. This isn't a proposal, it's not a drill. This is a fundamental reversal of the last 7 years of hemp policy in America. So what does this actually mean for the gummies in your cabinet right now? Will you be able to buy them tomorrow? And how on earth did this happen? We're going to break it all down. All right, let's get straight into it because this is a massive change. For years, you've been able to buy hemp-derived THC products, all thanks to a law called the 2018 Farm Bill. We'll get into the wild story behind that in a minute. But the key takeaway is that on November 12th, as part of a deal to end a government shutdown, Congress passed and the president signed a spending bill with a hidden bombshell inside. The new law completely redefines what legal hemp is in the United States. The most devastating part? A new ridiculously low THC limit. The law says a legal hemp product can contain no more than 0.4 milligrams of total THC per container. Let me put that into perspective for you. A single standard gummy or THC drink you'd buy today has anywhere from 2.5 to 10 milligrams of THC. Many have a lot more. This new 0.4 milligram limit isn't a small tweak. It's a near total wipeout. Industry executives are estimating this threshold alone will eliminate 95% of what they claim is a $28 billion hemp retail market. And it gets even stricter. The law doesn't just target Delta-9 THC. It applies to total THC, which means it's coming for the Delta-8, the Delta-10, THCA, and any other cannabinoid that's become popular. It also explicitly bans any cannabinoids that are synthesized or manufactured, which is how most Delta-8 products are made. Those are on the federal chopping block too. Basically, a law was just passed that recriminalizes the vast majority of the hemp products you can eat, drink, or vape. And it doesn't matter what your state laws say. This is a federal ban that overrides all state-level hemp programs built over the last 7 years. The clock is now ticking with a 1-year grace period before it all goes into effect on November 12th, 2026. So how do we go from a booming legal market to what one industry CEO is calling an extinction level event? To get that, you have to understand the 2018 Farm Bill. Back in 2018, Congress federally legalized the hemp plant. They did it by defining hemp as a cannabis plant containing no more than 0.3% Delta-9 THC by dry weight. This was a huge deal for farmers and the CBD industry, but the law was very specific. It only limited Delta-9 THC, and only by dry weight. This created what many now call a massive legal loophole. Entrepreneurs and chemists quickly realized two things. First, the law said nothing about other intoxicating cannabinoids like Delta-8 or Delta-10. Second, you could make a product like a gummy that was heavy enough to hold a significant intoxicating dose of actual Delta-9 THC while still staying under that 0.3% dry weight limit. And just like that, the modern hemp-derived THC market was born. It exploded into a multi-billion-dollar industry with products popping up in stores everywhere, even in states where marijuana is totally illegal. For millions of Americans, it gave them legal access to cannabis for recreation, sleep, or anxiety. It created, by some estimates, over 300,000 jobs and became a lifeline for small businesses. But this whole new marketplace was operating in a legal gray area. It was technically legal, but almost completely unregulated. And that Wild West environment's a big reason we are where we are today. If this has been going on since 2018, why the sudden drastic ban now? Well, the pressure to close that loophole has been building from a few different places. First, public health and safety advocates, and their concerns aren't totally baseless. They point to intoxicating products sold without real age checks and some companies using cartoon packaging that looks like it's aimed at kids. Poison control centers have seen a spike in calls about accidental ingestion, especially with children. Second, you have the state licensed marijuana industry. These are the companies that paid millions for licenses and operate under a super strict seed to sell rules and heavy taxes. They've been looking at the unregulated hemp market as unfair competition, selling similar products without any of the same costs or headaches. Third, you have politicians who argue that Congress never meant to create a nationwide market for legal intoxicating drugs. They see this as fixing a mistake. In a twist of irony, Republican Senator Mitch McConnell, who actually wrote the original 2018 Farm Bill, was a major force behind this new ban, arguing that these products are poisoning Kentucky's kids. This combination, child safety concerns, Pressure from the regulated weed industry and a political urge to end the gray area created the perfect storm. This ban was added at the last minute to the government funding bill, a piece of legislation so critical that it's nearly impossible to vote against, ensuring it passed with almost no public debate. The fallout from this is going to be massive, and it's going to hit a lot more people than just those who enjoy a THC gummy. First and foremost, it's consumers. If you rely on these products for wellness, to manage pain, or just to unwind, your access is about to be severely limited, if not cut off completely. For many people, including veterans, these products have been a crucial alternative to prescription meds. This law could push them back to less desirable options or even to an illicit market with zero safety standards. But the most shocking consequence, the one that almost nobody's talking about, is the effect on the non-intoxicating CBD market. You might think this is just about getting high, but industry experts warn that this ban will effectively eliminate the mainstream CBD market too. Why? It's a technical snag on how CBD is made. To produce CBD oil and other non-intoxicating cannabinoids, the process often involves intermediate steps where THC levels temporarily go above the new 0.4 milligram limit, making it nearly impossible to produce compliant CBD products. This could wipe out an additional $11 billion wellness industry that millions of Americans depend on. And then there's the economic devastation. This isn't just a few companies, it's an entire ecosystem of farmers, manufacturers, distributors, and retail shops. In Texas alone, it's an $8 billion industry at risk. Across the country, over 300,000 jobs are now on the line. These are small business owners and their employees who built their lives in what they believed was a legal industry. So is this really the end? The law is on the books, but the fight isn't over just yet. The law has a 1-year implementation window, which means full enforcement doesn't kick in until November 12, 2026. Lawmakers who oppose the ban say this is a critical window to try and pass a legislative fix. The goal would be to replace this outright ban with a responsible regulatory framework. Things like age gating, proper testing, and clear labels, which is what many in the industry have been asking for all along. Hemp advocacy groups are already planning to lobby Congress hard in 2026. They'll be arguing that this ban will kill a massive American industry, destroy hundreds of thousands of jobs, and hurt the very consumers it claims to protect. The next year is going to be a frenzy of intense advocacy, business pivots, and probably some legal challenges. But companies can't afford to wait. They're being advised to immediately check their inventory to see what, if anything, can possibly be compliant under the new law. Many are already planning to reformulate products or, for those who can, try to enter the highly restrictive state legal marijuana markets. This story is developing fast, and the future of an entire industry is hanging in the balance. The next 12 months will decide everything. If you want to stay on top of every single development, every proposed fix, and every legal battle, make sure you're subscribed to this channel with the notifications on. We'll be tracking this every step of the way. More importantly, share this video. Your friends and family, anyone you know who uses these products for fun or for their health, deserve to know what's coming. Awareness is always the first step. And finally, we want to hear from you. Drop a comment below. How does this ban affect you? Are there products that you rely on that will now be gone? What do you think should happen next? So that's the situation. A law passed in the shadow of a government funding bill has effectively criminalized a multi-billion-dollar American industry. It threatens to wipe out not just the intoxicating THC products, but the vast majority of the wellness-focused CBD market along with them. Hundreds of thousands of jobs are on the line, and millions of consumers are about to lose access to the products they use every single day. The landscape's changing faster than ever. That 1-year implementation window offers a sliver of hope for a real legislative solution. Whether that solution actually happens will depend on whether the industry and its customers can make their voices heard. We'll be here to cover it all. Stay informed and stay vigilant. With that being said, what if the cops pull you over and say they smell weed? If you want to know what to do if you're ever in that situation, then check out my next video, What to Do When Cops Say They Smell Weed. I'll see you over there. And remember, arrested doesn't mean guilty.